Okay, hello, and thank you for joining me today. We're going to be taking a look at the Compliance Manager within the Service Trust portal for Microsoft. Okay, so first thing I'm going to have you do is go to servicetrust.microsoft.com, and once you get there, you'll see it'll probably ask you to log in first. Go ahead and log in, and then you'll see a Compliance Manager option at the top there. Go ahead and select that, and you want to make sure you select the Client Compliance Manager Classic one here. So the this other version, it will work, but it looks like it's a little bit buggy, and just this classic version is a little bit more reliable. So that's what we're going to be working from today. Okay, so once you get there, you'll see this little screen here that's asking you if you want to take a tour. You can if you'd like, but for this example, we're just going to go ahead and click that X and go ahead and skip on through. And we'll notice down underneath here, we have a bunch of different uh, sections that are labeled by group. They're all called default group here. And these are just the main areas of focus for the Service Trust portal here that are taken into consideration by default. So if we wanted to, so what this is telling you is basically, it gives you an aggregate score based upon different actions, both customer managed and Microsoft managed. So Microsoft has a responsibility to be compliant as well as, the customer end of things as well. Just because since they're handling all the data on the cloud, they have an obligation to have a section of actions here as well. But that being said, those Microsoft ones should take care of themselves. It's the customer managed actions that we're really concerned about. So just for a scenario here, let's say, for instance, we want to try to add another group here for, let's just say for our HIPAA compliance. So in order to do that, the first thing we would have to do is establish roles. So in order to establish roles, up at the top, we should have a little more dropdown. And we can go to admin and then settings. And here we have a drop-down menu which says select role. If we click on that, we have a couple different roles that pop up. We want to make sure that we have a compliance manager administrator as well as at least one contributor, just to make sure that we have access to everything here. Let's go ahead and set up a administrator here. And we'll just make Karen our administrator here. And now we want to add a contributor. Let's go ahead and add Renee as a contributor. Okay, so now that we have that set up, we can go back to the compliance manager. And now we can actually add a new assessment here. So we can use this button here. This is add assessment. It'll bring up another little dialog window. So this will give us the ability to create a new group, and the groups are important because that's going to dictate who actually has access to these different subcategories here. And that's going to be dependent upon their role within the company and exactly, what delegation they're going to have for this compliance score here. So let's just make a group here. Or you can use an existing group too if you already have one set up, but since this is the first time we're doing it, we're just gonna start from scratch here. Click next, and we would like to copy from an existing group. Let's go ahead and choose the default group. And by default, this is gonna bring over your test plan and additional information, as well as your implementation details, and any documents that are native to the default group there. So let's go ahead and click next. And for this product, let's select Office 365. And for the certification, let's just choose HIPAA. Okay, so now that we have that set up, we can add that to the dashboard. And if we scroll down here, we'll see that we have that new assessment group set up for us here. So if we click into that, we can take a look at the breakdown here. You'll notice a couple at the top, you just have some general information about, the overall score, as well as the status of the assessment here. And underneath there, we have a further breakdown of what's actually embedded here. So the ones you're going to be mostly concerned about are going to be the customer managed controls, because like I said, Microsoft should handle everything on their end. And you can even open that up and verify that those all have been assessed. So we'll go down to the customer managed controls here. Okay, so now that we're here, we can actually click into each one of these controls and have a little bit more information about what's exactly going on in the background there. Let's just take a look at this one here. We'll notice that we have some a brief description of exactly what's going on with this control. We'll see our score here, which is calculated, and we'll also see some other data related to this control. Specifically, take a look under the related controls articles. This is every other document that might be related to the specific control, and it'll give you references to those directly here. Click on more. We'll have some more information here as well. This will actually show you, what the customer actions are for this particular control and give you some more information about exactly what's going on here. You also have the ability from an administrative standpoint to add some implementation details as well as, a response for your test plan and management. And that can just give some more information for somebody if they are assigned one of these controls here. They can have some more, granular information about exactly what they have to do here. Okay, so now that we have that set up, we want to actually assign this control to somebody. So we can do that using this little assign button here underneath assigned user. Click on that. We have the ability, it'll bring up in this little dialog window here. We can select either from this drop-down menu or we can type in the name specifically. Let's go ahead and type in Julian here. And we can select a priority just so he knows, how important this task is. So we'll go high. And down here we can type in a little description just so he is directly aware of anything off the bat. So we just want to let him know that he needs to implement this control and then just prove that the implementation is actually successful. So now we can go ahead and click assign. And we'll see that Julian is now put under the assigned users. And we'll take a look at what he needs to do from his end in the next video.